Hey, you with the face, you don't know video games, but neither do we, because, we have this show just to... Anyway, I'm Ben Rosenthal, and I'm here to talk about video games, and I'm joined by former...
Illuminati.
Former Illuminati, and now just a man with a caterpillar on his lip, Dan McGuiness.
Hello, that was loud and abrasive intro.
You've forgotten what it's like to sit next to me with a mic. Mr. Dan is here.
Yes, I am here. Hello, how are you going? My name is Dan McGuiness, if you don't know who I am, and I can see there's people in the chat who do know who we are.
Well, people should know who you are because you were instrumental in the beginnings of this show. For those of you who don't know, this show used to be called Hack the Dino, and it was Dan and I set up in Dan's comic book store doing a little podcast.
We had a mug and we had a SingStar mic in it, and two mics, and then we were just Do
you know when we relaunched the very last episode of like the Hack the Dino, I was almost going to bring out SingStar mics and do them in that, and then I forgot, so that was pointless.
Just sticky tape them to a mug and sticky tape to this.
Brayden's also here.
Hi.
It's, we talk about how Hack the Dino, it used to be Hack the Dino. Hack the Dino is still alive. You can go over to hackthedino.com and still see all our stuff because we as a group are called Hack the Dino, but this podcast is called You Don't Know Video Games. And you don't know video games because we need SEO, we need optimization, we need people to come and say hello, and they need to subscribe over on youtube.com/You Don't Know Video Games, where you may be watching this live right now. And if you want to, a little bit later on, you just want to hear our voices, you can head over to any podcast app, and we are there. You don't know video games. Tell your mum, tell your friend, tell your sister. Don't tell your dad, though. He'll just be disappointed. That might just be me.
Yeah, it is.
So, Floppy and Anto aren't here. Floppy's dressed up as Ian Malcolm somewhere, and Anto is there being fondled by a T-Rex, or so the showrun says. Isn't that right, Brayden?
That's right.
Yes, good. Anyway, enough about us. Dan, what's been going on? What's happening?
What's been going on?
Yeah.
Everything's been going on. So, should I talk about my game?
Oh, we'll get to your game. We got the rest of this show to talk about your game.
What's been going on with me? I've just been chugging along. I've been hitting Steam again because I Steam linked it to my TV, so I can now
How do you Steam link it to a TV?
Smart TVs?
Yeah.
Smart TVs now, if you just go in there, one of the apps is Steam Link, and you can just put it on there and it just links it straight in.
God damn.
And you sit there and because your controller's just in your computer, so you just bring your wireless controller over and just play it on the TV.
How's the lag?
Not much.
But there is some that's noticeable.
Oh, it's only noticeable if my internet fucks up. But apart from that, it's fine.
Well, thankfully you live in Australia, so that never happens.
Yeah, never. Ever. And I live in Bel Air. Never happens.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The furthest possible point away from a node I am. Or whatever it is called.
A node.
You're a node.
What a strange name. Node. Well, before we get into talking about the game you've been making for a good couple of years now, we should probably talk about what we've been playing. But before we do, as Brayden frantically highlights on the run sheet here, I would like to thank...
Trying to make a habit. Here we go.
Our beloved Patreons. That's right. Head on over to Hack the Dino over on Patreon, and you can support us to help keep these mics on.
These over the top lights. So can you see them in my glasses? There's so many lights in my face right now. I feel like I'm getting sunburnt from somehow.
Trust me, it's not going to happen. Look how white I am. Our Patreons, our beloved Patreons, who we'd like to shout out and say a very special thank you, especially to our producer level Patreons. Brayden, take over.
Thank you so much to our producer level Patreons, Dylan the Villain, and Michael Towns Game Boy Games.
Game Boy Games. And if you would like to be a Patreon and perhaps get in on the game club and get in on the You Don't Know Video Games quiz, head on over to hackthedino.com, follow the links, and send some money our way.
Is this the screen?
That is the screen.
Can it play?
No, the screen's broken.
Oh, I was going to say we should have put it on. Advertising.
It cost me $10, but for the podcast listeners, Dan's pointing to the screen that's attached to my GameCube.
I ruined it.
No, this is why you left.
This is why I wasn't allowed on the show again.
That's right. All right, Brayden.
Howdy.
Should we? Let's go through what you've been playing.
I feel like we should let Dan talk about what he's been playing because we haven't heard from Dan and what he's been playing in a while.
Okay.
And then Dan can have a break from talking for a sec as we gush about some shit.
Yep.
And then we can get into the meat of the matter, Dan's game.
All right, so we'll get into Dan's meat a little bit later on.
Meat my platters.
That's right. Dan, what have you been playing?
I've been playing, so this last couple of weeks, I've been smashing out a couple of horrors.
Horrors?
Unlike
you.
I got back into, I got into Cultic. So if you don't know what Cultic is, it's
That's what the United States is called now, isn't it?
maybe. It's like
There's going to be so many of those jokes.
It's like a 3D Realms game.
3D Realms.
I know. I'm pretty sure it's 3D Realms. Brayden, give me some footage. There we are. So it's like, it's made by this, like, I think it's pretty much, it's a one guy game. You know, one of those like.
This looks awesome.
Oh, dude, it's so fun. And it's like every weapon in this game fully thonks into them. You know what I mean? Like, thunk, 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 thunk. And you're basically a guy investigating this cult. And then it just keeps spiraling out of control. And you're finding, like, there's also, like, it's got a good story. And is in, like, there's a couple of other people that are also investigating the cult, and they're leaving notes, and, you know, you get to read them. But it's not much reading, so it's good.
What I love about modern gaming engines and the power we have now to play games is that they can get games that look like a Duke Nukem or a Heretic game from back in the day, but run so smoothly and effortlessly and does all the cool things that I wanted it to do back then.
Yeah.
It now does it. Oh, man.
And there's, like, upgrades of weapons and stuff. But it's like, which you didn't really have back in those days, you know,
No.
like the upgraded weapons and that. But it's funny, though, because there's a bit of a mismatch of, like, vibes in this. Like, so, like, all the enemies are, like, 2D sprites, but you can see these trucks and that, and they're voxels, like, like...
What's a voxel?
It's like squares.
Oh,
Cubes.
instead of a
like,
pixel.
made up of little, like, some things are voxely. But yeah, you can, like, blow people up in this and thonk them and, like, you know what I mean? It's just really satisfying gameplay.
I do like whatever they're firing at you, you step to the side and it actually has like a third dimension to it as you walk past it, whereas before those sort of things would have been not possible.
Yeah, kind of like dodgy. But yeah, Cultic, it's really good. This is like a field journal. Oh yeah, I really enjoyed that one, and I would recommend it to anyone who likes, you know, these...
Duke Nukem?
Yeah, Duke Nukem, those kind of games, you know, Suleiko.
That fire looks great! It's
What?
just a GIF. That's awesome.
What?
The fire, when you walk close to it, it was just like you
Yeah,
could see
it's
the
like
flat ground.
they've really made an aesthetic choice on what is 3D and what is 2D. And
Yeah,
it's like
that's
some of
great.
it's quite funny. Like, because they don't have to. Well, it's him. Like
One
and
person.
You've got in here, and it's very like Blood. Do you remember Blood?
I remember Blood.
Yeah,
I've
so
got Blood.
you've got all the dynamite and stuff like that, and like you've got like the not rocket launchers, but like they can shoot out grenade launchers, and this chaos. And the levels are really well put together, as in, like, you know, you start at this cult, what are they called, those things that the cult people live in?
Communes.
And then it goes in, and then you go underground into mines, and you have to light all your own, like, things and that, but you can use the lighter as this light when you're in darkness. It's, like, really good. Like,
Is this just on Steam?
yeah.
Oh, man.
Which is, well, at first, like, I had this was in my list for ages. I had, like, a demo out, and I played the demo, and I really liked it. And then I just noticed the other day it was on one of the Steam sales. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about I even wanted this game. And then I've already finished it. I started it, like...
Oh, really?
It's quite long as well. And it's got, like, a little, one called Interlude. So this is chapter 1. And it went for a while. It was like hours and hours. And, yeah, the Interlude is, like, you play as this police officer at the police station when the cult, like, is starting to take over, and like the corrupt police, and you're like cops against cops. You're just killing cops, basically.
Sounds
Like,
good to me.
pretty
I mean, no, it doesn't. No death is bad.
But yeah, it's just a great game.
With the Steam Deck coming out here finally, do they have the dock yet that you can plug into your TV? Is that a
Yeah.
thing? That's all
Yeah,
good to
that's
go?
the only reason I get a Steam Deck, because it's basically a Steam console.
Yeah, I kind of...
Except it's not like super duper powerful. You couldn't probably run like Baldur's Gate on it at like full settings or anything like that.
No, it's not really a problem for me.
Yeah, or like Space Marine. But like, yeah, all I play Steam for is games like this. Indie games that are just like, look at these cool ideas, look at this, look how... And the gore level's quite good in this. And like, it's got all the splatter on the wall and the organs everywhere. And
For those of you who don't know, Dan's a gore aficionado. What were you with the arm collector? The limb collector. The limb collector.
I'm still called that on my podcast.
Oh, really?
Jen still calls me that every week.
Excellent. What podcast is that?
That is the TerraVision Horror Podcast.
Oh, probably get it on all podcast apps as well. So while you're
Probably.
there looking for
I
You
don't
Don't Know
know.
video games, you can...
RSS TVC feeds, whatever they're called.
Yeah, one of them. But you can find it anywhere. TerraVision Horror Podcast.
So I was playing this. Then I've also been playing a mate's game, which is called Don't Let Him In. And this is great. So this is like one of those games that's set in the PS2. Is it PS2 or PS1 era?
PS1, I would say.
PS1 era. So you can choose your like you know, whether you've got like classic dithering, whether you want to like looks like it's on an old VHS. It's got like the compact disc loading.
Did he get sued for that?
No, I don't think it does that. And it's this. I was quite surprised. So it's basically a lot of it is story, as in like a visual novel kind of thing. There's no dialogue or anything. It's just like typing, but it's about 3 dudes who are on the way to like a concert or like an outdoor, you know, like what are those like things that you go to, like the lawn festival and stuff? What are they called? Like a
festival?
Yeah, like a festival, but you stay there. You know what I mean? Like one of them.
A multiple day festival.
Yeah, and they pick up like this hitchhiker, but it's, and you know, that sounds stupid and why would you do that? But all the dialogue that they're saying, like, he picks it up and they're like, I don't know if you should and all that. And then there's this guy and he starts like talking crazy and stuff like, but like,
Funnily enough, that's what I look like when I shave.
yeah, that's true. But the dialogue is what really pushed this game. I was like, these guys actually seem like what they're saying is normal. You know what I mean? Like, and then this guy starts jabbering on, and then suddenly he just like commits suicide in your car. And then it's about like you're on this road trip, and they're like, we can't dump the body, and like we'll have to like drive him to the next town. You know,
Just go to the police station.
Yeah, well, they're in between like towns.
Okay.
And so that's what they do. They get to the next town and they like go into the first place, and there's like the town's just empty, and there's no one there. And then they have to argue of they have to get back in the car with him, and they're like, he's going, dude, I call shotgun. I'm not. And the other guy's like, I just rode that whole way with this corpse in the back, and it's like real violent as well. Like when he does the suicide bit. But then you get to these places, and it goes into this third-person Silent Hill vibe. Like, so this is the first place you get to, and it's like there's just no one there. It's like a diner, and you walk around, and you've got a sanity meter, so you have to keep on like doing things, and it keeps getting like more escalated, and like the guy showing up, and it's this full like demon cult, the whole, and you eventually get this bit where like police, you know, come in, and they're like, you're like, oh, thank God the cops are here, and then one of the cops just shoots the other cop because it's all this like. It's like this thing that's been happening, you know, like that everyone's in on it, and it's just really like it seems like a real like horrible situation to be in, and the dialogue and everything is like quite good. And I was like, this is just my mate, it's just him.
Yeah, right.
He's called Johnny. His company's called Johnny Made This.
Nice.
That's a good name.
So has he made any other games previous to this, or is this his first?
I'm not. No, he's made a couple. He's in the middle of doing another one now, which is coming out on. That one's coming on. That's on like PS5 and everything. And
Oh, really?
yeah, he's got all consoles and that. He's got a publisher with another one coming out or something.
So
But
self-published?
he also does like he's got another game called Uncle Unco. Look that up, Brayden.
Uncle Unco, okay.
Yeah, which is like because he wanted to get away from doing heaps of horror, so he just did this like nice game. That's where I met him. I met him at like the last AvCon. He was next to my booth, and that's how I know. And I'm like, yeah, but he's a great guy, Johnny. He's a brilliant coder. He's just one of those dudes who does it all. You know what I mean?
Right. And is he going through a publisher, or is he publishing himself? Or?
So this is something. Oh, Plumbo as well, and I don't know what.
Beat Driver.
I don't know what that one is.
Hey, kudos to him. This is a very nice website.
Oh, it is?
Brayden, we should steal the code for it.
I don't think that's how that works.
Oh, really? You sure?
But yeah, so I'm playing that one, and that one was really good. And you can get that on Steam. I got it for like $7.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, that was like done. And then the other thing I've been playing is Classic Dusk. And the only reason I've been playing Classic Dusk is because I didn't realize that they'd made Dusk like HD, and they've upped the game. And it's just because it was in my Steam library when I bought it over. And
we played this years ago for Hack the Dino. You streamed this.
Yeah, it's a great game.
It is.
And I only realized tonight when Brayden was looking up something to put on about it that there's a HD Dusk, which is all
So
jiggered up.
it looks like they put out a free update where it's just like, yeah, they just updated a whole bunch of the models in the game, and it looks really good. This is the classic OG, but
I like the classic OG personally.
And then Dan was also telling me about the other old school version they did of it.
Oh yeah, have you got any footage of that? They did Dusk. What number is it?
82.
1982. This is it. And so this is the brilliance of like New Blood, which is the company. So New Blood.
For the podcast listeners, it's basically isometric 8-bit.
It's like Amstrad.
Yeah.
Amstrad. It looks like Boulder Dash.
Yes.
But
perfect.
like not.
Yeah. Imagine a first-person shooter, but overhead. And
it's one of those ones that looks like time moves only when you move.
Oh, man, this is cool.
But yeah, so Dusk 82.
Really cool.
Chip tunes. Yeah, they're New Blood is like this crazy cool little company that seem to make all these cool horror games, and they've got, you know, their values align with mine. You know what I mean? Like they brought out Dusk, they did Ultra Kill, they did like, I think they their first game they started with was really just not what kind of like, they did like a bullet hell like top down plane game, like, you know, like a
1941
shmup.
Yeah, a shmup. It doesn't really fit the rest of their catalog, but there's another one I really want to play of theirs called like Faith. And that looks cool as well. Where right,
I'm not gonna lie, I prefer the classic.
do I don't know. Look at the shotguns here. When it goes, I do like the look of the new shotguns.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but yeah, I've been playing classic Dusk, and if you don't know what Dusk is, also it's another one of those cheapos. It's on everything. Dusk, I think you get on Xbox, now.
I saw it was on Switch.
Yeah. Ion Fury, do you remember that?
Yeah,
I got a physical copy of that up there.
I played the second one of that.
Oh, was the second one?
Yeah, Iron Mate. What's it called? Something Fury. Phantom Fury.
Phantom Fury.
So look that up, Brayden. I loved this. So this is the most closest I've got to Half-Life 1 in years. So this is the sequel to Ion Fury, and it's like they've just upped a generation for it. Like it's in Iron Fury. So that's the
Ion Fury.
This is it. This is a new
Phantom
one.
Fury.
And it's like
This looks nice.
yeah, and it's like at first you're in the same kind of place that you're in the first game, and I thought it was going to be a corridor shooter, and then you end up like going out into the wilderness, and you get this whole storyline, and there's and then it's got like elements of like Halo.
I was about to say, this is very Halo.
But also how it works. Like, so there's this the army's been doing experiments on like people to make super soldiers, and they've broken out in their monsters. But then you got the army, so you got that whole Half-Life thing where you got the monsters and the army against you, but the monsters are also against the army.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, but they're not the army. They're like a paramilitary kind of organization, and you've had one of your arms ripped off from the first game, and you've got this robot arm that can like do shit, and it's just, you know, you get to like big bits that have snipers, and it's just, you know, they set up these scenarios that feel very much like Half-Life 1. You know what I mean?
Cool.
But in the best way, like, you know, you go to an old bar like in the middle of like Arizona, and like there's zombies in there, and then you'll go to another thing, there's monsters, and you're fighting soldiers, and you're like, there's heaps of weapons, and it's a very cool game. Very cool.
Add Iron Fury and Iron Fury 2 to the game club list.
No,
nice.
It's called Phantom Fury.
Phantom Fury. All right. Phantom Fury.
But yeah, very cool game. Very bit of bugs in it, but like, you
That's
know.
all right. Bugs are fun.
Yeah, none of them stopped the game. They were more like bugs. You know what I mean? Like,
Bethesda bugs.
yeah, like a spinning arm or something. Like,
All right, Brayden, should we just do quick little talks about what we've been playing and then delve into the game that's captured our minds, our hearts, our body, our soul?
Absolutely. So I finally platinumed Astrobot. I'm very excited about that. Excellent
Still
game.
haven't got past the second galaxy because I
That
haven't played it.
final level can go F itself. Oh my god, it's so difficult.
Did you play Astrobot at all?
I played the first two levels, yeah.
Not your
First two
thing?
universes.
Yeah?
No, I liked it. It's just this. I think then the day I was like, this is the best game ever, and then Space Marine 2 came out. And I'm like,
enough.
that's the end of everything for a while. And then I forgot to mention I've been playing Silent Hill 2 Remake.
Oh, how's that?
Yeah, it's good. It's real good, actually. I'm really impressed with it.
I think
Except for
Floppy's in the middle of that as well.
just a couple of little things that I find weird about it, like just graphical bugger ups every now and then, like where I'm just like, surely you could have fixed that. You know, a lighting Like, you'll be like, in your pitch dark. And then there's just something you can see. It's just something that's lit by normal light that shouldn't be. It's supposed to be in the dark. And it happens throughout the whole game. And I'm just like, come on, guys.
And what else, Brayden?
And I tried going back to Assassin's Creed 3, and that game had
Why?
such a... Because I liked it back
Is
in
that
the
the
day.
Enzo one?
That was the American Civil War, which now that I say it out loud...
Why, Brayden?
No, the American Revolution, not the Civil War.
Yeah, why that one? Why wouldn't you play like Black
Flag?
Flag?
Well, because I was going to play this and then I was going to play Black Flag. I literally started Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, and there was 10 minutes of like slow fuckery, Desmond modern day crap, and I just uninstalled the game.
Yep. They got rid of that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Dude, I installed, because on Game Pass, like all the Call of Duties came up, like Black Ops and all that, and I still like, you go in there and it's like, which ones do you want? I'm like, I just want the story campaign of this one, this one, and this one, because I really like them. And then it's just like, it took me so long to even play one because I had to sign up to an account, an Activision account.
Jeez.
And then I had an Activision account and I couldn't remember its password and then all that. And I got into it and I played it eventually. And I did a session of it. And then next day, I'm going to play it again, put it in there. And it was just a whole fuckery of trying to get back in there. It was like, and then I couldn't remember which one I'd started playing. It didn't like, you didn't have like a continue or anything. And then each time it went in, it's like, this may take a while. We have to load that game now. And I went and eventually, and I did just in the end, I just turned it off and just uninstalled all the game, all of them. There was there was like 4 campaigns. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to talk about. I've also been playing, what's this called? Inscription?
Yeah.
I played Inscription because this came up on Game Pass and we were just talking about it the other day. Do you know what this is, Ben?
A card game?
Yeah, so this is a roguelike card game.
Yeah.
Except you're in the scene, but what makes it really cool is like, you're playing, and it's really good rules. Like how the game is very simple, very easy, and you get it. And what the big thing that makes this game really good is they drip feed you the rules that make sense. Mm-hmm. It's very easy, but then suddenly one of your cards starts talking to you, and it's like,
Oh, is this when you get you lose your sanity?
no,
No?
well, you might a bit, but this is like basically, this game is bonkers. So pull out your own teeth. So what you have to do is like you win hands and like you've got this weight on the side, a scale, mm-hmm. And like you get opportunities where you can get pliers and if you want you can pull one of your teeth out to like, but then you die, and then the next person that comes along and plays the game. So it's a guy in a cabin and he's just obsessed with playing this game, and obviously there's a lot of hikers that keep coming there.
Right.
So that's like the roguelike part, and then once you've come in, but you got to map, and he's obsessed with this game, and he puts on these little stories and puts on masks to become the characters and like tells the story of you going through it. And then the cards start and they're against you, and you can get up at any time and walk around, and there's all these like secrets and things. Like the first thing is one of your cards is like, if you look in the rule book, there's a code that will unlock the safe. So you have to go to like the rules of the game and like you'll see it's written on one of the sides. And then it keeps getting more bonkers. And then it gets to the point where I don't even know if this isn't, it turns into this full ARG thing where like, because when you start the game, you can't start a new game, it's only continue.
Oh, right.
So the game's been played before, and it's this whole thing about this game was never supposed to ever be played. And the point of playing it is like, oh dude, it's like, it gets so bonkers, and then like halfway through the whole game just turns to a completely new game, like a top-down pixel art game, and like, but like that's hours and hours in, like, and then you realize there's like the cards, the characters, that and each time you die, he takes a photo of you, and then you become a card, and then but you get to pick like make a card from the cards that you've got there. It's quite easy to do. It sounds complicated. And then the next time you play it, your card is in the deck that you've made. And just, it is like every idea of a roguelike, every idea of like an ARG, or, augmented reality. And then I found out later, there's a full thing where in the real world, there was an ARG where there were actually discs of Inscription buried in the world. They had done it and people found them. And like,
Oh, wow.
this thing is like bonkers. And the cards change as well. As you play more of them, they start to change their appearance, like the ones that could talk and stuff like that.
Awesome.
It is definitely nothing like I really experienced in... I don't do roguelike card games that much. I know everyone talks about like
roguelikes.
Darkest Dungeon and slay the tower, whatever it's called. Spiral, whatever it's called. What is it called?
Spyro.
Slay the Spire.
Slay the Spire, but
Slay the Spyro.
This is really easy to understand.
find
Like,
a
to put down a
cute-
card, you have to sacrifice something. But see, that's got 2 blood on it. You have to sacrifice 2 other cards to put that card down. But then the cards are like, you start to feel bad for them because they can talk. And they're like, I can't believe you sacrificed me. And like, I thought we were friends. And it's just
Cool.
very, very, very cool.
All right,
Very
Brayden,
cool.
What else? You got something blacked out here. What is it blacked out?
Yeah, I just want to get a vibe check on the PS5 Pro. How it launched yesterday, and I kind of want one.
Nah, not interested.
Yeah.
PC Master Race.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right, yeah, so you've got here Nintendo Music app. Yes, I've been listening to the Nintendo Music app. The online stuff just keeps getting better and better. Like, more and more value for money. And it's been announced that Nintendo will be carrying over not only the Nintendo Switch cartridges, but your Nintendo app will also carry over to the Switch too. Officially announced during the week. There you go. But yeah, this is cool. Just nice listening to old video game tunes.
The second I saw this, I was like, this seems like it was designed for Ben.
Yeah, of course it was. The only thing I don't like is it's its own separate app. Like, why can't you just integrate it into Spotify or something? Because
I think because they wanted to do their own little their infinite loop ambient stuff, didn't they?
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also very nice having Yoda. Yoda.
My favorite Nintendo character.
Yeah, yeah. You know, everyone loves Yoda. All right, let's do it, Brayden. I looked at the Fortnite event. Did you see what the Fortnite event was, Brayden?
No, I did not.
So they have a big end of chapter thing, which used to be a really cool storyline that I was really into. They don't bother with the storyline anymore. This time, the big live event was just a live concert in Times Square that you watched on the theater screen with Snoop Dogg rapping in a live concert, which is pretty cool. Only problem is, it was clearly lip sync because Snoop Dogg forgot to sing sometimes. So he's sitting there doing his little crib shuffle.
He did a Kylie Minogue.
Yeah, just completely forgot. Anyway, Fortnite's still fun. But I've told this story. I was playing with a friend of the show, Ghost Games, and he got a little bit frustrated with me because I wasn't taking Fortnite seriously enough. And he goes, Ben, if you want to win games, and I laughed, and he went, what? And I said, I don't play Fortnite to win games. What are you doing? I play it to just mess around and have fun because it's a good time.
I play games to have fun, not to win.
Yeah, I know. Well, he was also used to be a professional.
Ooh, good dunks.
A professional, was it Call of Duty esports person?
Yeah, right. Yeah. That explains a lot.
Yeah. All right, Brayden, do you want to introduce it? The game that you and I are both obsessed with?
The second this got announced, I actually went to the App Store and wishlisted this game so that I would get it notified.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
This is right up your alley, Dan. You're gonna love this so much.
Dan, you're gonna hate this. Just deal with us for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
No, not
just
even
bear
10
with
minutes,
us.
Like 3 minutes. Give us a minute.
And then we'll get into your cool stuff.
Oh my god. Pokemon Trading Card Pocket is out and it's so good.
It's so good.
I love this game so much.
What
They
is
have
it?
Marvel snapped the Pokemon card game. So they've taken all the most confusing parts of the Pokemon card game, given you the experience of opening up card packs, and just you get to collect, you get to battle, you'll eventually get to trade when they update it. I am loving this. Ben, how
Will
deep in
anyone
it are
care
you?
because you can't make money, or can you?
No, you can spend money.
Oh boy, can you spend money.
You can spend money.
This game is amazing. So I like collecting, in case those of you new to the show haven't been aware. I'm quite the collector.
He is.
But Pokemon cards, really super expensive.
Yep.
Like to the point where I had a complete base set, including a holographic Charizard and everything I got in a deal. Ended up selling it because I didn't want to go down that little, I went to say dragon hole. All right, yeah, sure.
Yeah, get up that dragon hole.
Get in that dragon hole. You can
You're
open
thinking
two free
about Charizard a bit too much.
two free Pokemon packs a day, and you can do 1 or 2 Wonder Picks a day, which is just like you get to go through friends lists and go, I'm going to try and get that one. They have 5 cards. They shuffle them
So
up.
2 Pokemon packs is an acceptable amount for a normal person. You should be buying at least 2 packs a day in real life.
Yeah, but I mean, they're freebies and they're all digital anyway. Anyway, what makes it really good, we're seeing it here on the screen. You get special cards, which is a full art card, but you actually go inside the card and it gives you this nice little mural that they've put together with this wonderful music.
Diorama.
Yeah. But then I've been getting into the game. So I've never known how to play the Pokemon TCG before.
Yep.
I never, ever, ever knew. I just couldn't get my head around it. With this game, all right, it's a toned down, simplified version of that, but I finally get it.
Yeah.
I finally understand how to strategize and how to do the little things. Yeah, whatever. I can
Battles.
talk good.
That's like Inscription.
Yeah, kind of, but a lot more cute.
A lot cuter.
The site's pretty cute.
So, love this game. Love this app. I also really like... So, they came out with just one set. And a lot of people are going, oh, yeah, I'm already bored. In the past week that it's been out, I think they've had 3 events on.
Yep, they've
Just little mini events.
updated
all free.
it with little bits to get you back in, and it's been consistent enough. I've never even seen that card. That
You
was
play
there.
against people.
Yeah, I can play against Brayden right now.
Yep.
Please don't.
Please don't. I would get
What is
wrecked.
it like? Okay, so you don't play a computer or a,
You can. So there's an AI, which you can do to practice and also complete missions. Then you go against random people on the internet.
Yeah, nah, I'm out.
Or you can play against your friends on your friends list. You can play it completely free. You can earn...
How do you make money? How do they make money?
Well, there's a subscription. So you can either buy gold in order to speed up your clock.
There's
so you
a
can open another
subscription,
account.
and there's also
You just lost me.
microtransactions. If
That is
people
a...
want.
Or, 15. But what I like about it is
That's the committee talking.
you can play it 2 times a day and then leave it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't engulf your life. It doesn't demand you all the time, which is another thing I like about
But
Pokemon
you just
Sleep.
have to pay a subscription.
No, not even that. So you can play this completely free. And that's what I will do because
That's what I'm doing.
Stingy.
yeah, absolutely. Pokemon's had more than my fair share of money throughout the years, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, great game. I think everyone should play it. If you want our friend codes, Brad and I will put them in the Discord.
Yeah, hit us up in the Discord.
Head over to hackthedino.com, click the Discord button, join our Discord, and
Chat. Is there anyone in the chat who actually would play this?
Michael Towns is playing it. Dylan the Villain isn't, but Nintenvania is playing it. Friend of the show, Vita the Z, is playing it. I've got all them on my little friends list.
What about Vince Room? Are you into this Vince Room? You gonna hit up Pokemon? Or are you more of a man?
Jeez.
I didn't mean a man like that. But yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Jeez. All right. Dan, speaking of games,
Oh yeah,
you're a bit of a game maker.
I am now.
You are now?
Decided I was going to be, and then just did that.
So talk us through it and talk us about your game.
Well, you have to ask me questions, like
Of course.
That's too broader.
Talk us about.
What do you want to know?
Dan, what is your game called? Give me the elevator pitch.
What is my game called? My game is called End of Ember. It is a twin-stick action roguelike shooter where a young girl is accidentally sent to hell and she has to fight her way out or fight her way deeper into hell. It's your choice. Kind of thing. You can see the trailer on this is the old trailer, Brayden.
Oh, do you want me to find the new trailer?
There's a new one.
Oh,
But doesn't matter.
I think it's in the Discord.
So that's it. It's a roguelike. It's basically, I love Binding of Isaac. I love Enter the Gungeon. I love Doom. I love Smash TV. I just wanted to smash all those games together and make a game that I wanted. And I always figured that like games didn't have the gore system that I wanted, so I made my own 2D gore system. Which
Now, you had no game developer knowledge prior to starting this, did you?
None. I mean, I'd done a little bit of concept art for my mate's game, and I had opened Unity before. I downloaded Unity once and opened it up and looked at it, and and then took it off my computer. But and then I got diagnosed with ADHD and I got medicated, and finally I could concentrate on like making a game.
And boy, did he concentrate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. I've never seen
Concentrate or
Dan more
hyperfixate?
hyperfixated.
No, because my hyperfixating that's a bad thing. So that's an ADHD thing where you hyperfixate on something, but you also you lose interest really bad because you hobby hop.
Yep.
And then you can't ever look at it ever again. So I don't do that. I just could concentrate but I could also leave it alone. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have to do it compulsively. I could just go oh yeah, I didn't finish that today. I'll just do that tomorrow. Where I couldn't do that before my medication. It would be
okay.
like if I didn't get it done, it was the end of the world and it stressed me out. So, So yeah, I started this game. I had a little book and I drew in it, and I was like, what's my character going to be? It was basically because I had a mate who was making games as well, and like I fell into like a friends group of game makers because my mate went to game school. We'll just call it game school. And he had his class, and they all became, they all stayed friends, and then they went off, and like they've all gone in different directions in gaming, kind of thing. And I just kind of fell into that group. You know what I mean? Like, and then I didn't want to show my game because I was like, oh, these guys make games, and my mate's made a game. I'm sure I can make a game. And I started doing it like secretly. And I just kind of watched YouTube tutorials. Everything's for free. So you download Unity for free, which is like, your game engine that you're making on. And I watched YouTube tutorials on whenever I got how do I do this? I used a bunch of tools as well. So I went on and the Unity App Store and got like the top-down engine. So it kind of gives you like a base start of like, here's a player movement script. Here's like a this and that script. And I went from there. And I made a prototype and we showed it at we showed it at Avcon, and then got really good response. And
how was the feedback with that?
Yeah, good. Oh, I forgot to mention as well. Like, so I was doing this all by myself, and then I wasn't really doing much with it. And I was through that, I decided I was going to go learn a bit more about game studios. So I kind of got like a job as like an art director at this game studio called Catalyst Games. And then learned more on how to do stuff and that. And then I left that project because I had a kid, a baby. And then
congrats.
And then I was like on parental leave, and a guy, one of my mates rang me who teaches games. He's a game teacher, game business he teaches. And he's like, hey, your game, like we should push that because you probably you didn't really know where to take it from now on, and I do. And he goes like, if you want, I can produce it. And if because my code was messy as fuck because I was learning everything as I was going along.
Yeah. So you were just band-aiding.
And this has been about a year into it then, but I hadn't worked on it for a year because when I started working at Catalyst, I kind of stopped my game, and I worked on that for their game for 6 months, and then so it was around about 6 or 7 months worth of my game, the prototype, 7, 8 months, something like that, and then he's like, yeah, and like, because I knew my code wasn't gonna last. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't gonna. As soon as it started scoping up, it was gonna break. You know what I mean? Like, it still worked as a prototype, which is great. And he goes, oh, and my friend, Eli, the programmer Eli, and I knew him as well. He goes, he's keen to work as well. Why don't we start a studio? We're 3 dads. And we'll start up this studio and with the model of like an art guy, a programmer, and a producer, and it's like it's like an actual studio, like a small studio model. And I'm like, cool. So we worked it out, and we called ourselves Bad Plan Studios, and the name was just because we needed a name. And I was looking around the room, and I had my health plan on the wall, and I think I had like a Bad Religion CD, and I'm just like Bad Plan Studios, and that was just it. Because your game company doesn't matter that much.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's cool. It's a cool name.
Yeah, because a bad plan is better than no plan.
That's right.
That's our motto. And from there we went like, cool. So we registered did all that, and then we showed my prototype at Avcon, and we had really good responses. Except it was pretty. There was some bugs in it where I wasn't good at bringing these. Going between levels and stuff like that, and they were just bugs that because I'd use these certain tools. My programmer was like, "This is so over programmed," and things of these scripts that you brought in. You've got bits of other scripts and that. And he goes, "I fixed something and it breaks 10 things over here because they're all linked and there's so many dependencies around." And he goes, "It's great what you did." He goes let's rebuild it from scratch.
Oof.
I kind of wanted to do that because there were a lot of things in my game that I couldn't do because I didn't know how to do them, and I was at the point where I just don't think it would have ever been able to do it.
Would it be to the point where, because as you said, this is the first thing you've ever done, you're building on top of one thing and another? How long was it before you got above your knowledge level and it broke the entire thing? Is that sort of something you were
So
worried about?
in that 7 months, I rebuilt it from scratch 3 times myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I had to learn. Real early, I'm like, maybe I'll change render pipelines. You don't know what that is. I didn't know what that is, but you can't change them. And I did.
Oh,
And it broke the entire game, and I had to start from scratch again. So I mentioned I had this game dev friend group. It's separate from my other ones, and so they were like, when I lost my game, and I was like, I had to rebuild it, and they're like, well, why didn't you use your GitHub or your source protection? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, did you just make all this without source protection? And what source protection is, you understand that when you're making a game, you can't just there's no such thing as a save. Like, you save your game, but you can't go back to an earlier version. It's just it. And then if you do something wrong, it is just it. And if it starts to break, it's just broken. So you have to create.
so it's like making a cake.
Kind of, yeah. Source protection, which is a thing that you've ever heard of GitHub?
Yep.
So GitHub is your source protection. So it uploads. You upload it to GitHub, and then you can pull down older versions of it. So at any point, you can go into your GitHub. If you've worked on it for the day and you fucked everything up, you can go into GitHub and it shows all your changes you've made that day, and you can just delete those changes and it will revert back to whatever it was. But you can also share your GitHub, so you can both work on the same game at the same time.
Yeah, right.
That's how all the companies do it. So I would log you into my repository. Not suppository. So you want to, and you log into your GitHub, you get my link, you bring it in, and it would have my game on there. It'll be on your computer, and then your changes go into it, and then it will go, and I'll see you have branches. So I have my branch and your branch of the game, and I can pull your changes into my branch, and you can pull your changes into your branch. You can fuck shit up real easy. Like if you both work on the same thing at the same time and then try and push it in, you get conflicts, and you just have to choose one person's, and then you'll lose it. But you usually, the programmer ones is the programmers, and mine is the art. So I don't change the programming, and he doesn't change that. And I forgot what I was talking about now.
No.
But, the story of it. And then so the game guys, they taught me about that, and I learned, I got that done, but they were really impressed. And these are guys that work on real games. I consider them real games.
No, it's a real game.
And, no, as in they're my friends. So so I didn't show them for so long.
Yep.
I basically showed them after about 5 months of work, 3 or 4 months, and they were actually impressed. And I was like, whew, it felt so good, because I was so worried that I was going to go, dude, this is kind of whack.
I remember you showing me, and I was really impressed with I don't know how long you've been working on it by the time I played it for the first time, but I thought it was great. It was fun. You had a lot of funny moments in there. The homages to different horror.
Yeah, so that was the other thing I wanted. Lots of horror homages. I love my horror. I've got my horror podcast, etc. So there's lots of nods to Evil Dead. And because the whole thing is she's in hell, but she's also she's broken into hell, and she's going through other people's personal hells. So and then some of the personal hells, you see on screen, it's The Exorcist, that's from Phantasm, and certain things like that, and they were just it's not that I want to rip them off or anything. I just wanted to put them in my game because they're funny, and it's cool, and when you get it, you get it. You know what I mean? And then because I'm an '80s child, so I'm the full VHS horror genre. So you get videotapes of I don't know how that's actually going to work with IP and stuff, but you can pick up a DVD of The Matrix, and it will give you power-ups and that. And so all my power-ups are stacking, so it's very, very... The power-up stuff is very, 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 very based on Bonnie of Isaac. Because my whole point was I love Bonnie of Isaac. I'm just going to clone it as much as I can to learn how to make a game.
Yep.
And from there, I was just because I never expected this game to be a game. But it just kept growing and growing. And now I'm kind of branching off. And there's a whole thing with where you can dig out of hell. So you've got this chainsaw. It's a sentient chainsaw called Abaddon. Abaddon, he's an actual demon.
Right. Yes.
So he says, he's this
I was going to say the wrestler, but no.
No. He's helping you out. So you get to hell, and they're you're not supposed to be here. You're not on our records. And then you're oh, this sucks. And then, because you accidentally get killed by your parents because you got these selfish, horrible, fucking vacuous parents. They're not evil, but they're just dickheads. And they accidentally kill you on your birthday at the party that they throw for themselves.
Cool. Good parents.
Yeah, they're like Harry Potter evil parents, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, step parents, whatever. But and you get to hell, and they're we got no record of you at all. Like, you're not supposed to be here. And then they go, you just have to go over there and wait in that line for like 1,000 years and you'll be fine. A la like the Beetlejuice kind of vibe, which sucks because there's a new Beetlejuice, but like,
people
you know, but I used to love Beetlejuice as a kid. And like, you snap and you're like, and he's like, what are you going to do? You can't do anything. Like, you got no powers here. And then this chainsaw appears and presents itself to you. And it's just like, it's like a high-end like weapon. And it like goes like, oh, you know, if you set me, I'll help you out here. And so you do, and you make friends with this chainsaw. And he's kind of like, he's your wizard. You know, like, not your wizard, your
companion.
No, the people that teaches you stuff. What do they call it?
Mentor.
Mentor. He's like, and tutorial and mentor kind of character. And you smash through the desk and you go down, and then it's kind of like you think you're trying to escape hell, but you're actually kind of like trying to go deeper in there to you know, someone's got to pay.
Yep.
But there's more to that, but I don't know how much I should give away.
No, don't give it away. Don't give it away.
Really good story beats in there that I was actually even surprised that I created.
That's good when you surprise yourself.
When I've told like people and they're like, you know, other game devs like, oh, what's the story? And they usually sit there and go like, holy shit, I had no idea that there wasn't like that was gonna happen. That's good.
Oh, good. Well, you can get feedback like that from people in the business, you know, doing something right. However, you may have done something a little bit risque. You had to censor yourself.
Yeah, so the theme page is up now. So anyone watching this, go over there and wishlist it. And so that came. We've had like a soft launch of our Steam page. We haven't like officially launched it out to media and stuff like that. But we've put it up and we've like sent it to our friends, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And foolishly, my producer Chad, he went onto Reddit and did the Reddit faux pas of basically self-promoting a little bit, but also like being deceptive a little bit in what he was saying in the post. And Reddit people do not like that. Ooh. So he put up a thing and it was basically, hey guys, feeling a bit like, you know, off because like, you know, Steam keeps on blocking our game because we were getting blocked. It took us 5 chances to get up onto Steam.
Why were you getting blocked?
Because the first time was like all my capture art. So capture art is all the art that's on Steam. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Was too violent. And I was like, no violence. And I'm like, cool, in the capture art. And I'm like, cool, I didn't realize that. And, you know, I looked at Doom's one. There's no violence in the Doom one or anything, you know. So that took a while to like work through that. And then they're like, oh, your trailer's too violent. And then, so I worked on that. And then they're like, oh, there's nudity in it. Like, because some of your little characters aren't wearing clothes. There's not allowed to be any nudity. So there is allowed to be nudity, but you have to mark yourself as having high levels of nudity and sex.
Yeah, right.
And stuff. And it's just like, So in the end, we just had to like check nearly everything apart from like pornography. And so we got banned in Germany straight away. We got banned in China straight away. We would have been banned in China no matter what. For a video game in China, if you show skeletons,
yeah, you're out.
Or religious iconography.
Yep.
Iconography.
Yep.
Iconography, you're out. Anyway, so we were never going to make it. But it's cool because people will still play it in China because they'll just download it illegally.
Yeah, of course.
I'm stoked with that. But because we had so much people in China on our Discord going like, we can't see it. It's not. It doesn't even exist here. And then some German people like, it's not here either.
No.
But I want to get in Germany. So I wanted to like, and then...
So this
Reddit post went up and they're like, they saw through it straight away. He also... foolishly cross-posted it across, and he did it in like /gaming, which is it's like 40 million people in it. It's something ridiculous, you know what I mean? And it's like known as like a pretty gnarly Reddit
community
sub. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't just like he didn't just come in. He had community hours up his sleeve. You know what I mean? Like he'd been in another one. He'd talk to it wasn't just him coming in as a raw Redditor. He just like But they saw it through straight away and they eviscerated the post. It got 80,000 views, this post. It had 60 very hateful comments on there very quickly.
Oh wow.
Any ones that were like supportive of it were voted down, very like out of there and stuff like that. It got so nasty, some of these things that were quite full on, that I was in a stressful situation anyway. I had a sick kid and stuff, and I was like trying to deal with that, like this sick child, and then this all started happening. I was just like, what the fuck? Like even I looked at the post and I rang him up and said, even I would have given you shit for this. Like he realizes it's stuffed it. But then again, we've had marketers that are just like, no, you saw 80,000 people saw your game that, and if you'd done a nice post, nowhere near as many people would have seen that game. Except we got Reddit just completely banned the thread. It got completely taken down within like an hour.
Oh God.
And then our whole account got banned because someone weaponized Reddit care. Do you know what Reddit care is?
No.
So if you're on Reddit and you see someone you think might be upset or suicidal,
yeah.
like you mark them as like, we're worried about this person. And then they block you from all things in case you're getting bullied and take you out of Reddit. And people weaponize that. So people who are like don't like minority groups, and I got told this by other gamer like devs that people don't like, they don't like maybe a minority group, or that you don't like their religion. They will mark you as like they're worried about you, so you get pulled out of like Reddit. So they've weaponized being nice.
Cool.
So we got like everything banned out. And we're still actually, because we can come back in, we're still pretty. It's stuffed it up. And so then I'm like, you know what? I took all this bad advice, right? I saw not bad advice. I saw all these hates, and they were mostly hating on like there was a big penis in my game that smashes up, and like it's not attached to anyone. It's just like a big wall of
Just
dick.
a shaft.
It's just like a big in Mario,
big throbbing shaft.
I based it on Mario 3.
Based it on me. Oh, thank you, Dan.
No, based it in Mario Brothers 3 when there's like one of the castle levels. The big slamming rocks come there.
Yep.
No, they're the big, giant ones. They're like this big.
Oh, the
like
pile. The pylons. Yeah.
I was like, imagine that was a dick. So I put that in the game, They just fixated on that. They're like, it's a little girl. There's a dick hitting it. It's pornography. It's child porn got yelled out. And then there were people who were like, they didn't even watch it or go to the page. They're just like, I've just looked at all these comments and I kind of gleamed from it. I know what they didn't even look at anything. They've just taken what the other people have said and then run with that. And so people are like, maybe if you took all the child nudity out of your game, you wouldn't end up in prison like you're going to be in prison. And I'd be worried about the FBI, and everyone who's wishlisted this game is clearly already on a watch list. And I'm like, oh my God, there's no child nudity in my game. There's one big dick that went up. And I was everyone fixated on that. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm taking it out. Because I'm just like, if this is what people are going to concentrate on, this is not what I want people to like my game for anyway. I want them to like it for the horror, as in the horror side of it, and the gore, as in fun gore, over the top 80s violence.
Yeah,
you chop an arm off and blood comes out, and it's over the top. And this game is they started eviscerating me of what it looks like. They're like, look, shit, it looks like a Newgrounds game, or it looks like a edgy Rick and Morty fan and all this stuff. And I'm like, whatever. I've drawn the same way my entire life.
Yeah.
I go, when I started drawing, people said, oh, you look like The Simpsons. And then South Park came out, and suddenly I drew like South Park. And then Rick and Morty came out, and you draw like Rick and Morty. I've drawn the same way my whole life.
For those of you who don't know, Dan is actually a published artist and a professional artist who's paid money to draw art. So
I'm a multi-region published children's book illustrator.
That is my favorite fact about all of this scenario. Is just amazing.
Yeah, and I have children as well. There's no CP in this game. There's no child nudity. There's none of that. These people didn't even look at it. They just jumped on, and a lot of people did it. There's a lot of people on Reddit, I realize, who just don't really want to
have playing the game.
Well, no, they don't even they just want to hate.
Oh,
They're just angry.
Yeah.
And but from that, I took this stuff out. I decided, well, if people got a problem, if Reddit's got I also wanted to bring down, I want to get that nudity tag off of Steam. Because I need to I want to have give it to more people, because now people have to sign in and all this stuff. So I'm like, the reason my baddies were nude is because they're in hell, and I'm like, well, you wouldn't get hell in hell. You wouldn't get clothes. So I was being realistic, and I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter. My game's so ridiculous and over the top.
Yeah,
they don't have to be. So I drew, like, you know, I've got these suicide bomber clowns, but they don't have pants on. So I'm like, I just put clown pants on them and they look better.
Yeah.
Because they look more like clowns now. And, like, you know, and I created this, like, new, like, biomechanical stuff that I covered people up that if there was any nudity or anything like that. And, yeah, and went from there. And I actually, like, ended up, like, I think the game's better now. Like, better for it. There's more cool things. And don't get me wrong, I may have, like, taken out the nudity, but, like, I've made it way worse. Like, as in, like, it's like more gory, more gross, more body horror, more like, ugh, like, you know.
So not made for kids then.
No, the game's not made for kids at all. Like, and it never was ever going to be, and there's no way anyone would think it would be. And it's not going to be one of those things where people are going to be like, oh, it looks like a cartoon, therefore kids are going to, like, think it's going to be for kids. Are you kidding me? Have you seen anime? Have you watched the adult Netflix cartoons? Like, you know, what Inside Job and like there was even like Happy Tree Friends when we were growing up. Like you can't even hide behind that. Oh, it looks cute, therefore, like, you know, it's for kids.
I think Happy Tree Friends is an excellent example. Like an excellent example.
Yeah.
Because that was exactly what they're complaining about.
I remember.
But it's not they. Like, it's just, yeah.
I remember Happy Tree Friends getting shared around on a USB flash drive during like school IT class.
Check out USB flash drive in a school IT class. We had 3.5 floppy disks, Brayden.
Yeah,
we had to span freaking MP3s over 4 of those motherfuckers.
We just had to, like, say to someone, think of this thing, and then hit them in the head with a rock so that image just stays in their mind for ages.
Explains a lot.
I made that up as I was saying it. It doesn't make sense.
In stone tablets.
Yeah. All right, so Dan, when are you
all.
looking at bringing this baby out?
So we're planning, we're basically starting again. So a 2-year turnaround, so 2026 is a good amount. So, but the Steam page is already up. So 2 years a Steam page up isn't that weird these days, because you have to get a certain amount of wish list before Steam will even show your game on their front page.
You've got AAA companies announcing games that they haven't even started yet.
Yeah.
Like Wonder Woman. Remember Wonder Woman?
Remember Wonder Woman?
That was announced 2 years ago.
My God, we haven't seen a lick of it.
Remember Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Oh, whoa, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's on stage. Where's he at?
Remember Silk Song?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oof, you can't call that.
Yeah, but like,
locals.
no, Silksong they never said when that game was going to.
No,
they actually did. They were like, it's going to be next year. A couple of years ago.
They were in the Xbox thing where they said every game that's shown will be out in the next year.
Yeah, but they probably didn't say that.
That's probably on Xbox there, I would say.
I dare say that was, you know. But also be sure, Ben, to thank the Patreons who are very Patreon.
Thank you, Patreon, for patronising this guy.
Yeah. You help us buy new things and hopefully one day a new computer so I can play Steam games on it. Maybe.
You can play Steam. You can play all the games I mentioned on any computer.
I doubt I could play it on here.
A very big special thank you to our producer level Patreons, Dylan the Villain and Michael Towns, Game Boy Game.
So, until next time we meet, just remember, every breath you take, every step you make, every child you bake,
I'll be eating cheese near you.